In the vibrant city of Vaishali, a place known for its wealth, festivities, and indulgences, lived Amarapali, a renowned beauty whose allure captivated nobles, merchants, and wanderers alike. She was admired, sought after, and surrounded by wealth and luxuries, but deep down she was restless. Despite her abundant life, a silent emptiness grew within her. One evening, walking by the riverbank lost in thought, she heard the quiet murmur of a gathering nearby. Following the sounds, she came upon a group of monks sitting peacefully around a serene, radiant figure, Buddha. Curiosity overtook her and she settled among the crowd, listening as Buddha's gentle voice spoke of inner peace, self-control, and the nature of true happiness. His words struck a deep chord in her heart, revealing a reality she had never known. After the assembly dispersed, she approached Buddha with a question that had long haunted her. "Master, I have known all pleasures and desires, yet I find no peace. How is it that I can have everything and feel nothing but emptiness?" she asked, bowing respectfully. Buddha looked at her, his eyes filled with compassion. "Amarapali, you are like a traveler lost in a desert, chasing mirages of water that vanish each time you reach them. True peace cannot be found outside, in the pleasures of the senses, but within, through the mastery of the mind." Intrigued, Amarapali pressed on. "But Master, how does one overcome these desires? They feel so deeply rooted, like parts of my own self." Buddha gently began to share some techniques for mastering desires, explaining each step with compassion and clarity. 1. Mindfulness of breath, the foundation of inner peace. The mind is like a restless monkey, constantly jumping from one thought to another, driven by desires and aversions. To calm this mind, we begin by observing the breath, Buddha explained. Focus on the natural flow of your breath. Feel it entering and leaving the body without trying to control it. Amarapali practiced, learning to follow her breath with pure awareness. Each time her mind drifted to thoughts of desire or longing, she returned her focus to her breath, noticing how even the strongest urges softened over time. This practice is called anapanasati, the mindfulness of breathing, Buddha continued. When you feel the pull of desires, return to your breath and observe without judgment. Over time, you will see that thoughts and urges are like clouds, passing, temporary, and not truly who you are. 2. Seeing desires as impermanent, understanding anicca. Another technique is to recognize the nature of desire itself, Buddha said. Every desire is impermanent. It may feel strong in the moment, but it will pass, just like a wave in the ocean. He encouraged Amarapali to reflect on the times when she had experienced intense longing or desire, and to notice how those feelings had eventually faded away. Remind yourself, this desire is not permanent, it will pass. The more you see desires in this light, the less power they hold over you. Amarapali found this insight freeing. She began to see desires as temporary visitors rather than permanent parts of herself. When feelings of attraction or craving arose, she would remind herself that they too would pass. 3. Redirecting energy toward positive actions. Desire is a powerful energy, Buddha explained, and energy can be redirected. Instead of allowing it to bind you, use it to fuel acts of compassion, wisdom, and self-growth. Buddha advised Amarapali to engage in acts of kindness, compassion, and service, activities that shifted her focus from herself to others. By offering help to the sick, comforting those in need, and guiding young women who face challenges similar to her own, Amarapali experienced a deep, fulfilling joy that differed from any pleasure she had known. When you use your energy to uplift others, desires lose their strength. The mind naturally becomes quieter, gentler, and less distracted by cravings, Buddha taught. 4. The technique of Vipassana, observing without attachment. Buddha introduced Amarapali to Vipassana, a meditation technique focused on observing sensations within the body. He taught her to sit quietly and scan her body from head to toe, noticing any feelings, sensations, or emotions that arose without becoming attached to them. In Vipassana, you observe sensations, pleasant or unpleasant, without reacting. This practice teaches you that sensations, like desires, are impermanent and do not control you. Through observation, you will see their fleeting nature, and the desire to act upon them will naturally lessen. Amarapali practiced daily, learning to sit with uncomfortable urges and sensations without immediately reacting. She began to see desires as physical sensations that she could observe, allowing her to create space between herself and the craving. 5. Cultivating loving kindness to dissolve unwholesome thoughts. As Amarapali progressed, Buddha introduced her to metta, or loving-kindness meditation, a practice of sending compassion and goodwill to all beings. When thoughts of desire arise, counter them with thoughts of compassion and kindness. Wish well not only for others but also for yourself. Remind yourself that true love does not cling or crave. It flows without condition or expectation. By practicing metta, Amarapali's heart softened. Her thoughts became gentler, her mind clearer, and over time she developed an affection for all beings that diminished her own desires. Where once her thoughts had been filled with longing, they were now filled with kindness and goodwill. Amarapali's transformation, finding true inner freedom. After years of disciplined practice, Amarapali transformed from a woman driven by external pleasures to one of profound inner calm and wisdom. She was known not only for her beauty, but for her compassion, humility, and inner strength. She often shared Buddha's teachings with others, encouraging them to look within for true peace. One day, a young woman asked her, "How did you, who once had everything one could desire, find such contentment without those things?" Amarapali replied, "True contentment comes from within, not from what is fleeting or temporary. Through Buddha's teachings, I learned that peace is not in possessing or indulging, but in letting go. We find freedom not in feeding desires, but in seeing beyond them, realizing that they do not define who we are." In this way, Buddha taught that desire, while natural, does not have to rule the mind. Through steady practice, anyone can transform even the strongest cravings into pathways for self-discovery, compassion, and true peace.